Hey guys, Ken here from the Retro Toys Escapades channel in Malaysia. Entertainment Earth has these new images up for the incoming Masterverse He-Man Skeletor figures that are based off the 1987 live-action movie. And can I just say that Entertainment Earth sure has been getting the drop lately on a ton of new product reveals for pre-orders. Anyway, in many ways, these figures just seem to be movie inspired because while the costume and accessories certainly appear to be movie accurate, the face sculpt for He-Man seems to be that of some other blonde actor that was probably in movies and TV shows in the 80s. This is definitely not Dolph Lundgren. I would say that there is not even an attempt here to make him look anything like Dolph Lundgren. It's like sometimes you get a sculpt that somewhat resembles the actor, but with just enough subtle changes that there would not be any issues with likeness rights. Okay. However, in this case, I feel that there was an attempt to make it absolutely damn sure that there would be no possibility of there being even the slightest possibility of any likeness issues whatsoever. You know what I mean? Now, I talked about the detail work on the armor in the video from the last time out. I think it's absolutely stunning and seems almost like a McFarlane Toys fantasy sculpt from the 90s. And now we also get detailed views of the back of the figure. The scabbard that holds the sword looks fantastic, as does the gold patterning at the bottom of the cape. And the incredible thing is that once you remove all the armor, you get a legitimate second version of He-Man, shirtless with all his muscles exposed and ripping, as seen at the ending of the movie when he was being tortured by these electrical whips. Remember that? Now, this is a deluxe figure. The price point comes in at about $36.99 according to the listing on Entertainment Earth. He-Man comes with a fair bit of stuff. I'm not saying that all this stuff couldn't have been packed together in a standard box, but it's kind of like that She-Ra argument, okay? You know, the figure that came out for She-Ra in Masterverse. Because, you know, he comes with a fabric cape too. And I've always felt that anytime you get a package with soft goods, then it's got to be priced higher. It just seems to be the way it is. And having said that, you are getting a good assortment of items for different play options here, including a dagger, a boot knife, the massive power sword, a blaster. And even though it's not shown here, he does also get an extra set of hands too, according to the listing. And finally, he gets the extra vintage head. Okay, about the vintage head, I gotta be straight up, okay? It doesn't work for me at all. Not on this body. I'm kind of surprised that they included a vintage He-Man head to go with this movie-inspired version of the figure. It's sort of like a scenario with the new Adventures of He-Man figure, the one that Masterverse has out. I think it's already out in some places. Okay, so what if that package came with a vintage-style He-Man head? And to me, that just wouldn't work. That vintage He-Man head just wouldn't go together with that new Adventures of He-Man body. But it's kind of like a fun scenario that we as fans and collectors would think up sometimes. Like, you know, I could be sitting there thinking, what if I were to take the vintage style He-Man head and just put it onto the Netflix He-Man figure's body? You know, how would that look like? But in this particular situation, it seems like they're giving us that what-if scenario up front, right? So it just seems a little bit weird to me because I don't think that vintage He-Man head actually goes together with every interpretation of He-Man that's out there. And I kind of wish that, you know, if you had the option for alternate heads here, why not just heads that look closer to how he looked like in the movie, since this is a movie-inspired action figure. Okay, just for the hell of it, I brought out the classics Laser Power He-Man figure, the one that was released a couple of years ago. I in fact did a short video on this on the channel, I think like sometime last year. I put in the batteries, scoped out its light-up laser power function. This figure is really fantastic, it's really fun, and there's something about the facial sculpt. This sculpt right here just reminds me so much of the Dolph Lundgren movie He-Man. Something about the way that his hair is done up, the way the jawline looks, it's perfect. And I don't think that Classics redid this particular sculpt for any of the other figures. I think it's unique to just this particular interpretation, but it's fantastic here. And when I say that, you know, we could have sort of like a movie-inspired version of a He-Man figure that kind of looks like it's from the movie, but it's not exactly Dolph Lundgren, I guess this is what I have in mind. You know, this is the picture of the sculpt that I have in mind. What do you guys think? Now, Entertainment Earth also has brand new images of the Masterverse movie Skeletor figure, and I talked about this figure in the video from last month. I'm fully on board with the sculpt that they're going with here. I think that this sculpt perfectly represents how Skeletor looked like in the film. You know, maybe it's the fact that he's just drowned under all that makeup and he doesn't actually have an exact human likeness, so probably they could get away with it. But to me, this movie Skeletor representation is perfect. In those earlier images, he was only seen with the Havoc stuff, but this time around we get pictures of him with the power sword. This thing looks totally regal and majestic on him. And we also get a full breakdown of everything that he comes with. In addition to the Havoc stuff and the power sword, we see that he also comes with the cosmic key accessory. This is a direct tie-in to the events of the movie. So even if the packaging doesn't explicitly state Masters of the Universe, the motion picture, but what you're getting with it, definitely represents stuff that happened in the movie. However, I do feel that this particular package maybe could have just been stuffed into a standard box, because honestly, a lot of the stuff that you see here being laid out, like the cape and the armor, once you actually get it off Skeletor, he kind of looks a bit strange, and I don't think that this is going to be a valid display option for a lot of collectors, so you don't actually have a second mode of him, like armorless and, without the cape. Now, I suppose when we finally get this thing in hand, we're going to find that there's a lot of empty spaces in that deluxe box, because there's probably not enough stuff to fill it up. But I suppose, at the end of the day, this is how the product was supposed to be presented and rolled out to the fans and buyers out there. And let's not forget also that on the back of the box, there's a sprawling illustration. Both boxes, the He-Man and the Skeletor movie figures, have one interconnecting image that shows the two of them going into battle, just going at it against each other, just like in the movie. So I suppose when you take all that into consideration, this thing just makes for a really great release. And for fans of the movie, I think that this is something truly special for us to savor. What's interesting as well is if you look at the description that's provided here on Entertainment Earth, it says here that the figure is supposed to come with 2 swappable heads. Okay, how about that? But we only see the image of one particular head here. Is there supposed to be an alternate head here as well? An alternate movie head? Maybe a screaming face portrait? I guess we're going to have to wait and find out. In the meantime, let me know what you guys think of the video and what you think of these particular figures out here. Are you guys excited that they're coming out? Are you planning to get them? Hit me up in the comment section, and I'll catch you guys again real soon with more content. Take care out there.